Yeah, you're technically correct.
And we are live. And I would like to oppose that. I am always correct. I mean, I am the DM.
You're not wrong.
See?
Hey,
For
I didn't
better
say
or
you're
for worse,
correct.
you're right.
I just said you're not wrong.
If I am not
Now,
wrong,
if Rojan
I am
can
right.
hear us, do we have a problem with?
We have
I don't think
Huh?
Rojan wants to hear us half the time.
No, I can't. If when we're on break or we're on pre-screen for start, I can't hear you because I've got you muted. Because if not, y'all would bleed through onto the stream. And I know some of the conversations can get a little bit unhinged during breaks and ready up time, and I don't want the channel banned. So
No.
there is I've been privy to some unhinged communications while we're sitting in the a Mass Effect waiting room, waiting for Zoro to take the stream live. So I know exactly, what comes up in conversations sometimes.
Yeah, and then there's Tuesdays with Groudon.
Sometimes I want like somebody to record it so we can just put like a best of unhinged communications compilation on YouTube every year. But hello everyone. We're back. And hopefully this starts a string of games to where we are just going on continuously. I do know that Mass Effect should be returning sometime soon, so we're going to be moving into a Monday schedule where rotations for this show and Mass Effect will be rotating to every Monday type of thing, kind of like how we have with Withered Wastes and Wayward Wanderers on Saturday. So I'm hyped for that because I'm waiting to get back, to being Brockus and shooting everything with a shotgun.
With a new shotgun.
With a new shotgun that shoots fire.
Got an old acquaintance to arrest.
And shoot.
Well, if he gets shot up a little bit, happens.
Hey, if he gets hit by one of the giant fire slugs that come out of the shotgun repeatedly, it's not my fault. You said you only wanted him alive. You didn't say you didn't say how alive. Half dead is still technically alive.
It's true.
But yeah, so in the near future, look forward to the return of Mass Effect Horizons. Tonight kicks something special off as August. Technically, yes, I know this is the 31st of July, but I don't care. August is tabletop month for Extra Life. And so as a stream that participates in Extra Life every year, we are going to do a bit of chaos, as any donations that we receive through Extra Life will, I guess would say, produce double the incentives. Meaning, I hope the bot is working.
Should be.
Meaning any of these lovely incentives that you see here are donated for, you'll get a 2-for-1 deal on it. Meaning if somebody wants to be just completely evil to the cast, and you donate that $100 for a Deck of Many Things pool, you get 2 Deck of Many Things pulls. Meaning you can make somebody draw twice, or you can make 2 separate people draw from the deck. It's
Still only one dice bag though, right?
Yes, still technically only 1 dice bag. And in regards to the visit from Raccoon, I've got something special planned for those donations. As 2 Raccoon visits would be wonderful, but I think an amped up Raccoon gift would be even better. So any Raccoon visits that we get this year are going to have, they're going to have a little more oomph to them. But yeah, that will be running from now until the end of August. So keep an eye out for the shenanigans that are most definitely about to happen in the future here. As y'all can see, we are missing both Tiltbot and Zoro tonight. That is because they are celebrating Zoro's birthday. Happy birthday, Zoro. But the show most definitely must continue, as I think all of us have been chomping at the bit for getting back into a normal flow of D&D. I know I most definitely have, because when I don't play D&D, I make D&D, and I can't keep making D&D. Because if that happens, then my schedule is going to be nothing but a week-long series of campaigns. And then I'm going to ram my head into a wall, because that's how you get DM burnout. But most definitely in a game that I am not burnt out on. The last time we left off here, the group sort of crash landed into the middle of a dense jungle after being captured by a group of lizardmen. But thanks to Cannonball and the magical tentacle that he can summon, caused a bit of fear and startlement inside into one of the nightmares pulling the wagon, which in a unfortunate chain of events made the wagon climb about 250 feet in the air. And by the time the group was freed from the cage, they began a descent into a free fall. But Echo, having the ability of OP monk bullshit, was able to cast Featherfall on everyone, giving them a nice safe landing back down to the jungle floor. A few moments later, treasure chests began raining from the sky as the cargo hold of said cart had lodged free and was in free fall. Thankfully, nobody was injured in this incident. Well, anybody in the group, because you did find that the locker that your weapons had been stored in had found its way into the chest cavity of a now dead giant. Well, not a dead giant, but a dying giant. Dead after Shara hurled a untested weapon from the bag of many things at his head and blew it clean off. Your noise, I guess I would say, got the attention of a certain djinn-like being by the name of Shax, who, along with a giant wolf companion that he called Fluff, led you back through the forest to to his home in order to hide you from I just lost my train of thought. From the giant search party that was most definitely going to be coming looking for one of its royals. There you found a cave full of various forms of shacks, as they were having a bit of a party, as there was food and drink for all. Much like Jin and Faye alike, able to conjure any sort of food or drink or beverage that you wished. There was a bit of a deal made between Cannonball and Shax. Shax sending away Zatrot, giving him the specific location as to where Cassius is at the moment. And in return, Cannonball needs to acquire a lamp that is currently holding Shax's father prison in the middle of a lizardman encampment. And as we pick up today, it is the early hours of the morning rolling in, as Shax has allowed you to stay the night in his home, giving you safe shelter from any unfortunate run-ins with giants. as well as letting you possibly think up any wishes that you may have, knowing that they may come with a equal price to them. But the morning is not filled with as much chaos as the previous night was. It's quiet. The cave has taken on more of an earthly smell. It's a bit more damp than it was last night as well. As you notice, as you slowly come to in the morning, you notice that shacks and all the lavishry of the cave are no longer there. You are now in what looks to be, at one point, a makeshift hovel for a wolf. A large wolf, but most definitely a wolf's den. There are no notes left for you aside from one carving on a wall that says, "Get the lamp, and whatever you do, do not rub it."
If I remember correctly, Cannonball had that conversation with Shax kind of alone, right?
Mhm.
It was a private affair. Okay. So none of us, aside from Cannonball, will probably have any idea what that message means.
And I think Cannonball, like, after agreeing to what he agreeing to aid Shax, either right before everyone crashed down for the night or as everyone is waking up, will fill all of you in as to what needs to be done.
Gotcha.
I was going to say, I do believe we didn't hear what the deal was, but we knew he made a deal because there was something that was loud about the whole situation.
Yes.
So I'm sure we grilled him.
Yeah, you all
Or-
tend to have a situation where you grill one another when something is done in secret.
Yeah. There's no secrets here.
Secrets usually lead to disaster in groups like this, man.
Not wrong.
So is Shax's father in the lamp? Is that what I'm to understand?
Yes.
Or did I miss?
No.
I did. Okay.
Shax's father is in the lamp. Currently,
Okay.
his father is a prisoner in a genie's lamp.
Okay.
With all the bells and whistles that come with it. Rub the lamp, get wishes.
And I believe he described the lamp as being just like your stereotypical genie lamp.
Yep, just a stereotypical brass lamp.
I think the first thing that I'm going to do upon waking is take a good look at the rest of my companions, because they all made stuff out of nothing when we were in Shax's place, and I want to see if that affected them in any way.
Go ahead and give
Physically,
me.
visually, whatever.
You can give me either a medicine check if you are physically looking them over, or you can give me a perception roll if it's just like a quick glance.
My perception's so much better, but I think I'm going to do a medicine. Okay, well, that d20's gone. Oh, that's not what I was hoping for, but 14?
They don't look any worse for wear. Everyone seems to be in good health and spirits at the moment.
I think Chara's just going to be grumbling to herself about missing a golden opportunity as she digs out some rations or something for breakfast.
So is there anything there, like any food or anything, or we're on our own at this
You
point now
are
to pull together?
you are
something?
on your own. The only thing that would suggest that Shax was even there is just the message that he's carved into the walls.
So do you think our companions are with him, or they went out hunting?
I guess that's a good question. Are Cannonball and
Jenka?
Zorro, yeah, Jenka, are they here with us, or have they gone out somewhere?
After the conversation, when you were informed as to what was going on and what you all needed to accomplish now, Jenka has sort of told everyone to move ahead, as her and Cannonball need to have a talk.
Okay.
Someone's in trouble.
You know, something about being against volunteering to do any sort of work for an entity of power like a Jinn or a Genie.
It's fair. Yeah, so maybe we should have breakfast on the go. I don't want to be here for that conversation.
Yeah, neither do I. I agree with that.
I think that's reasonably good. I'll just find a ration to munch on along the way. And I mean, we did have a very nice supper.
Have a ration off the flask to anyone who wants it. There's no meal without rum here.
You go from having whatever you want to drink to pretty much having cave water available.
Before we go anywhere, though, who remembers which direction we're supposed to be going?
Oh,
Pearl, didn't you have a map? Or did Jinka take that?
Who did you ask that?
I asked Pearl if she had the map. So remember, it was either Pearl or Jake, and I don't remember which one had it.
I don't. I can check. Maybe Jenka said it here somewhere. I didn't actually have it, but we can check and see if it's here.
Something tells me she's not in the mood for us to ask her.
No. I mean, let's just look around and see if we can find the map.
I'm going to say, since Zorro is not here, Pearl, you have the map in your possession.
Okay. Oh, I do have it. After the last time I lost all my spells, components and everything, I'm beginning to think this was going to be a habit. But yeah, it's here. I'm gonna have to find a way to keep better track.
Oh, okay, good. So we've got the map. What direction is north? Because my compass broke when we fell out of the cart.
Oh. Well, I think probably mine did too.
I make a survival check to tell which way's north?
You sure can.
Oh, just a minute. Let me just
Unless
check
someone has some
something.
sort of ability or something that gives them north.
Normal
anyway. Yeah, no, I had no idea.
Okay, I've got Druidcraft as a cantrip. Would that? Oh, but probably not. No, I don't have Druidcraft up as a cantrip. No, so that's not gonna work.
And I rolled a 5, so I'm pretty sure I'm as lost as everyone else.
You're thinking north right now. You're thinking north is the direction whatever direction you face.
Yep. I'm just gonna pick a direction and say that's north. See if someone stops me.
Do you think if we were outside the cave and looked around, it would look familiar enough that we could remember where we were running from which was where the lizard men sort of were?
Maybe. I mean, I don't really remember which direction we were headed in when we were in the flying cart. We kind of went all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little tumbly.
Yeah,
We
the
also
whole.
don't really know which way the cart was going because we were partially unconscious for some of that.
So does anybody have a better guess than Pearl? Or better guess, sorry, than Echo as to which direction is north?
Not
Well,
particularly.
if we went outside, maybe I could do like a perception check and see if I could figure out, or a survival check even, and see if I could ascertain which way is we should be going.
Yeah, give it a go. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carrot.
So I'm going to step outside the cave and have a go using survival to see if I can figure out which way we should be heading. Ooh, and that would be a 21.
You know exactly which direction north is.
Not
Oh,
the direction
see,
that
as
goes
soon as
pointing.
I'm outside, I mean, everything just kind of kicks in. You know, the old sort of sailor thing here. North is that way.
Well, it sounds to me then that you just volunteered to lead us through the jungle.
Well, why not?
Yep.
So I will set off in the direction based on the map and what I've got, and away we go.
And as we begin to set off in that direction, Shara leans in real close to Echo. I'm real glad she figured it out, because I knew which direction was north the whole time. I just really didn't want to lead. I rolled a 20 on my survival.
Oh, nice.
Sure,
I'm just glad it
stick the
wasn't left
little
up to me. We
druid
were
out
just-
front.
Hey, we're in nature, right? That's your domain.
I know. No, I'm totally good with leading. That's not a problem. Probably safer for me out front where everybody can see me getting hit than in the back where I might get lost.
It's true.
All right, so Echo, Pearl, if you are going to lead the way, what I'm going to need is a skill that you are going to use in order to safely navigate this terrain, and then a percentile roll to accompany it.
Okay, now you said our navigator's tools had all been smashed when we landed, right?
Yes, your compass and everything, like anything like that was in your backpack has been pretty much, unless it was magical, has been destroyed.
Okay, what about the compass that Pearl got from the seagull?
That is still intact.
That's what I'm going to use. So does that then fall under my navigator's tools?
No, this would not fall underneath your navigator's tools because it's just the compass.
Okay, so how about, can I use that with perception? Or, or survival, either one?
You can use it with nature or survival with advantage. As
Okay.
as the use of a compass will prevent you from getting lost no matter what the roll is.
I'll take survival with advantage.
Okay.
Ooh. So that would be a 22.
A 22. Very nice. Okay.
And then you wanted percentiles?
Yes, percentiles, please.
Uh, 72%.
Oh, okay, very good. So it looks like the way that you're going has preemptively been cleared for you. as I'm grabbing my cat because she wants to eat my mouse wire. So as with that, it looks like it's been preemptively cleared as something rather large has trounced through the area, brushing back any overgrowth or trees that would be getting in your way, and the path is clear, almost as if like there's just a giant go this way marker directing you through the forest.
Well, I think we're to go this way. It's almost a little too obvious, but we'll take it.
Yeah, in about after the first 2 hours of your journey, you come to the jungle's edge. It's weird because you could have sworn you were in deeper last night, but just following this path has pretty much taken you from the cave to the jungle's edge within a matter of like 2.5 hours. And as soon as like you get to the edge of the jungle, you can see out onto Tremere once again. Often like a short distance, maybe another good hour or so journey, is this large ring fort that looks like has been handmade, with like large fires burning up from various layers. From the description that you were given from, or that Cannonball was given from Shax, this is more than likely the fort that the Lizardmen have overtaken.
Oh, you can't see this cat, but he's in the middle of everything.
We seem to
Okay.
we seem to be having cat problems tonight.
Well, we seem to have an officer more than one each almost, huh? Okay. So I will point to the fort and say to the rest of the group, do you think that's our destination then, from what we know?
I think it probably is. What do you think the chances are we could just like knock on the door and be like, hey, we're looking for a lamp?
Well, with how they treated us last time, slim.
Not so good.
Maybe if we knock a few heads first and say, hey, we'll stop killing you if you give us the lamp. That might work.
I could do that.
Or do you think there might be any chance, if they've got guards, that we could maybe sneak our way up, get a couple guards and sort of take them like as a hostage and have that kind of with us, sort of, give us safe passage and negotiate, a negotiating tool, so to speak.
And just so we have like all our ideas out on the table, and then we can like choose which one we want to do. I've got that flail thing that I found in the bag that explodes when it hits stuff. I could just like bombard the fort with that thing.
That would be impressive. What do you think, Muir? Any ideas?
I mean, bombarding things is always good. We can start with asking nicely, and if that doesn't work, then we go to bombarding.
I mean, we can ask nicely, then we can threaten to bombard, and then bombard if they just don't give in.
Ooh, a progression. I like it.
Yeah.
As long as they don't sort of kill us before we get to the second part of the plan, we're good.
So who's here good at negotiating with people?
Well,
physically or verbally?
Probably verbally, since that's the approach we want to take first.
Okay, not me then.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be like intimidation or
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Some sort of charisma.
Oh. I mean, I don't even look charismatic. Now, Shara, on the other hand, looks a bit imposing. Muir just looks I hate to say it, Mir, but you just look kind of adorable. Is there any
It works in
charisma
his
with
favor,
that?
though.
Little bunny arm to the teeth.
Yeah, but that just lets you get away with shit because then you do the horrible shit and then look cute. People don't get mad as long.
I mean, what harm? How could you look really adorable? No.
No.
Oh, you can't look that adorable.
Why do I have the feeling that all of us have horrible charisma?
Shara's charisma is actually not too bad. It's only a +1, but she's got 12 charisma. She's just not very smart, is the problem.
So maybe we
Well-
skip the will you give it to us and go straight to ye either give it to us or we bombard your fort.
Well, I mean,
I can try and talk to him, but I don't usually get people to do what I want them to do. Verbally. Now, you need someone to do some sneaking around and look for stuff, I can do that.
I was just wondering if there was something I could sort of turn into that would be impressive.
It's too bad that we didn't know exactly where this lamp was, because if we did, you could like turn into some small critter or something, and then take the duffel crab in there with you, and then the crab could steal the lamp, and then you get out of there.
Oh,
You
that is
know,
a good idea.
Shara, I like that idea a lot. So maybe all we have to do is create a diversion.
I was gonna say we could be your distraction.
Well, now
we can go up the gate and
diversion we can do.
negotiate, attack, bombard, whatever we need to do. We can keep people diverted.
Maybe if I'm just sort of off to the side with the duffel crab, so that they don't know I'm part of the group, and I wouldn't go missing or anything, and then you could sort of start talking, and if we could chat them up enough, even if they're not real friendly, maybe we can find out approximately where the lamp is. Is there anything on the map that tells us kind of where the lamp is?
Nope.
I look at the map. No.
The map is just a map of Tremere.
Well, this isn't terribly helpful. Okay, so if I was a lizard man and I had something important like a lamp, where would I keep it?
So, what if you turn to something small? I'll carry you and the duff crab with me. I can sneak in while they distract. And I can at least get you in and help you look around for it, and then if I get caught, you can scamper off. Without them knowing you're there.
Okay, but I don't like the idea of leaving you behind at all.
But
I'll
send some sort
you
of
could
signal,
sound
and
an
these two
alarm.
guys can come get me.
True. Yeah,
I have faith in Sharamir to be able to bust their way through in there.
I
Chuck can just start raising the place. Her flail.
Absolutely. I think this has got possibilities. Now, let me think for a moment. What would be the best thing for me to turn into to carry that? How big is this duffel crab at this point?
It hasn't really grown, so it's the size of just like a basic bag of holding.
Okay. And
So anything like I would say,
unfortunately, I don't have flight. I wish we were doing this at a level where I had the CR level to do things that could fly, because that would be fun. Okay, as we're in the forest, we're obviously not going to see sea-based things, but would we see? Oh my! I have CR one quarter, don't I?
Yes.
What about if I turned into a giant lizard?
Dude,
question. Like,
I don't want to seem like insensitive, but like, do lizard people talk to lizards? Like, what if they try and talk to you?
I mean, she did make horse sounds when she was a horse.
That is true.
Sure, she can make lizard sounds, whatever sounds lizards make.
Lizardnoise.exe.
Yeah, I'm just looking under languages here for lizards. It doesn't say much, but the nice thing is that they have more than like one hit point, and they also have a strength of 15. Now I take their strength, not my
Yes.
strength, right?
You take
So
you
that
take
would give me
you take their stats, that everything physical and everything mental is yours.
Okay, so basically it would give me enough strength to easily carry the duffel crab. And can I?
My question is where would you carry said double crab as a giant lizard?
Okay. Do these lizard men wear clothing of any kind?
From what you saw back at the back when you were in the cage, it varied. Some of them were in armor, others were in just basic leathers, but all of them seem to be covered in some way or another. Not as much as like you or your companions would be covered in clothing. It's more they wore it for protection reasons only.
Okay. Well, what about if we took, somebody's cloak or, a bedroll wouldn't really do it. Do we have anything with us that I could turn like kind of into just something I could sort of wrap around myself, and then I could and a belt, and I could tuck, I could hook the duffel crab in his bag onto my belt. And
I think that's more of a question as to what everybody in the group has in their inventory at the moment.
Oh, you were asking a pair of barbarians about clothing.
And a monk.
well, I mean, it doesn't have to be much. I mean, if I'm going to be a lizard, I would have been a lizard not wearing anything. So, I mean, a lizard with a loincloth is better, one step up, really. I mean, surely.
I mean, I'm not sure how much of a giant lizard if you're going to look like a lizard man. But, if they're not paying attention, maybe.
I mean, I could look like sort of maybe the kitchen help or something, I mean, do they have... and that, I guess, is the question, is if I turn into a lizard, can I use the lizard men as a model for the lizard I would turn into when I'm doing that?
Technically, no, because the lizard men are not technically lizards. They're humanoid. Like they have lizard-like features, but they're not something that you would say, hey, there's a giant lizard, it's a lizard man. They are very much distinctive from one another.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a lizard man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of like comparing like a basic hyena to a gnoll. They have features that are similar, but there are very telling differences between the two of them.
Well, I mean, there's other options, I suppose. I could just do, sort of a giant spider. Or I could do a snake. I mean,
if you're
I'm
a
trying
snake,
to-
you're small enough to coil around me and no one will see you're there even if I get caught.
Oh, well.
And I get, if you don't,
actually,
I don't get caught.
A constrictor snake would be a bit big, but it would have, like small snakes.
I mean, because that way, if you're attached to me, if I'm running around sneaking around in there and you're hidden on me, then one, there's less chance of us getting caught, and two,
Well,
I can
I
just
can-
carry the duffel crab bag.
I can do a poisonous snake, but I don't have much for strength or anything that way. I was looking for something where, I could get around better.
Well,
But,
can't the duffel crab run out of his bag and grab stuff? Maybe he'll go with you and come back to the bag.
In order for the duffel crab to actually absorb things into the bag, it needs to technically be halfway in the bag itself. Because all of the duffel crab acts as is like an anchor for the bag.
Okay.
like part of the problem with the snake idea is that I don't have any limbs or anything. It's not as good.
But if I just... Oh, yeah, it's not as good. What about like a rat or something small like that?
Well,
And you could drag it around with your mouth if you have to.
yeah, rats are a pretty good size. Rats don't have a lot of hit points, though. I mean, at least the
Yeah.
thing is, if I was a lizard and I got hit once or twice, I might be able to take a hit or two.
As we're getting closer to this fort, because I assume we're walking and talking,
Yes.
does it look like it's like enclosed on all sides and there's like a main entryway type of thing, or is it out in the open, no barriers to getting in?
From what it looks like the lizardmen have done a bit of fortification on the ring fort itself, as to where the ring fort previously looks like it would have had entrances or multiple access points into the first ring. It's now been surrounded by like wooden spikes and everything, making sure that there's only one entrance into the encampment.
Well, this may sound a bit simple, but sometimes simple is not necessarily the worst idea. If I do a rat, there's rats everywhere. I'm not going to stand out. And if I start out without taking the duffel crab and I go in as a rat, I could do a lot of navigating and see if I can find the lamp. And then I could come back. It would give me an hour as a rat if I don't get caught. And then I still have another wild shape left, and we could figure out where to go from there.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yeah,
we don't
worst,
have to plan it all out at once.
worst case scenario, I can just sneak in with the duffel crab and grab it and come back out after you find out where it is. That's not a bad plan.
And,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that's
if-
going to be the least likely to arouse suspicion. But I still think the diversion, so that I can get in, and their attention is elsewhere. I mean, maybe they worship the lamp in a room or something. We don't know. So if they're a little bit off guard, that might help us.
Yeah, if you're comfortable going in there and doing a bit of scouting as a rat, it seems like a good way to do it.
Well,
I'm down for that idea.
I'm game for that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry I may miss
So-
the flail going off against the walls, but
There'll be plenty of other things we can throw that flail at.
okay.
Char and Mir, are you guys comfortable making the first distraction just in case I have to go in there afterwards, so I'm not disappearing? I won't be far
course.
away, but I can hide myself.
Any other suggestions or anything you want to add, Muir?
No. But I'm happy to make a distraction if we need it.
Any thoughts where you think I should look first?
Probably inside a building.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's good advice as any.
Yeah, I don't know how they structure like their leadership, if they even have leadership. But if there's like a place where the lizard in charge resides or keeps their treasure or something, that's probably where it is.
Let's just hope they're not like dragons and they have a room that's got too much treasure.
I mean, that's how I was picturing it, not gonna lie.
Well, if they have a room full of treasure, we're gonna be taking that treasure.
Yeah, just might as well just let the devil crab go put ham in there. Take it off.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, if we can turn this into a payday for us at the same time, even better.
Oh, the greed starts to seep in.
Pirate.
We're not in this life to be good Samaritans.
You actually see Pearl's eyes sort of start to twinkle. She looks like this is something she's going to enjoy doing.
Hey, hey. Characters with charisma are not around at the moment. You're
So
letting
we'll
the
make-
muscle plan shit.
So we'll let, you know,
This is what happens when the group makes a plan without the face.
Yep.
The captain and the first mate are both off doing their own thing.
And I do believe our first
This is
mate's
their-
the one with decent charisma.
This just screams Star Trek away team vibes.
and
That is
I'm
what's
not
happening.
wearing a red shirt. The rat is not wearing a red shirt.
All right. So yeah, I'll go ahead and say that you've been pretty much planning this out as you've been walking towards this ring fort, and the area outside of the forest is wide open. Like, you could not hide yourselves anywhere if you even tried. You see, like, near the ring fort itself is a bit of a it's probably got a good 100 feet, and then it's beach and it's the shoreline. So this is pretty much a shore, like an old shore ring fort.
Okay.
Though as you begin moving closer, the wind in the area starts to pick up immensely. Nothing really as to like gale force wind or anything like that, but it's definitely, for those of you who have hair, it's definitely whipping the hair all over the place. It's blowing in your faces. It's even at a point in times when it hits you head on, it causes you to turn away for a moment, as it begins to like agitate your eyes. And you begin to feel flecks of sand being like kicked up into the air every now and then. And as you get closer to this ring fort, you begin to smell what could only be described as sun-baked flesh
Yummy.
being pretty much carried through these harsh winds.
Mm.
And as you get about 60 feet to the ring fort itself, the winds completely die down. And there's like a small shower of sand around the area. And there is no sound coming from the ring fort at all. Mind you, this is just the start of the middle of the day. You should see people out. You should see lizardmen out front standing guards in the you can see that they've made like makeshift sentry towers. Nobody up there either. There are fires going. The fires are still most definitely going, but it doesn't sound like anyone's home.
I just think they all fell asleep.
Maybe this job just got a lot easier for us. I
Or
mean,
it's a
surely
trap.
our luck isn't so bad that we're gonna run into yet another like world-ending calamity, right? Right, guys?
Right. We've already done one. We don't need more.
Well, maybe it's a trap. Maybe they sleep during the day. Maybe the giants held the lizardmen responsible for the murder of their prince.
I mean, technically, the lizard men are responsible because they're the ones that captured us. We wouldn't have been there if they didn't do that.
This is true. And
That's
yeah,
putting a lot on the giants to figure out, though.
I mean, I'm a little sad. I feel like we just planned our first thing without the captain around, and it's.
As you're having this conversation, you see like a very heavily wounded lizardman sort of begin to like shuffle out of the open gateway of the ring fort, and they maybe make it about 5 feet past the opening before they kind of just crumple over and fall to the ground. And as soon as they hit the ground, their body pretty much just disintegrates into a pile of dehydrated flesh.
Now I don't want to go in there.
Oh.
Is that normal? Please tell me lizard men like always do that when they die. That's a normal thing.
That's
right?
how they shed, right?
Can I do the medicine check?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Before you roll that, what are you looking for in this medicine check?
Okay, I'm going to try without hopefully being seen or raised, like, okay, can I do this with stealth to try and go over and have a look to examine the lizard man to see if this looks like a normal death, or if something, if I can tell if something more is going on.
I'm gonna say you're not even gonna need a medicine roll for that. You know that's not a normal death. People don't just randomly fall to the ground and poof into a bunch of completely dehydrated flesh. Like, it, from where you're standing, it looks like all the water in their body had been drained from them.
Yeah, that's not right.
Can I cast detect magic and see if I can tell if there is some kind of magic around the fort?
Sure.
Okay, so let's see what I have to do that. Okay, I get 10 minutes. Sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of me. So are we within 30 feet of are we close enough to the fort to make that useful, or do I have to move in closer?
Did you move in to check the body, or are you still about 60 feet back?
Oh, okay, I will have moved in to check the body.
Okay. So yeah, you are most definitely within 30 feet of the fort at this point in time.
Okay, so I'm just going to cast detect magic and see if there's magic around the dead lizard man, and if there seems to be magic emanating in general from the fort.
So it's not necessarily still emanating. You're getting like a decaying trace of like residual magical energy, like as if magic had just been cast in the area, and the magical currents of the world are beginning to settle back down. Magic was definitely cast here a short while ago, but it's not currently in effect.
Okay, I'll share that with the rest of the group. Do you think I should still go in as a rat and see what I can find?
I mean, maybe toss a water skin in there first, just to make sure there's not something like a poison in the air or something that's just going to dehydrate.
Yeah, it seems kind of dangerous to go in there alone now. I mean, if it was just full of normal lizard people, we could take them. Like, one-on-one, we could take the whole fort. But if there's something in there that's drying people out, maybe we should stick together.
Yeah. I'm going to take out my water skin and kind of manipulate it so that I get a spray of water that goes out towards the fort.
All right.
To see what happens.
Spray the water out towards the fort, and It travels the short distance of the spray and just lands on the ground as normal. You can even see the like the wet splotches on the ground. Nothing seems to be affecting it.
Is that what you meant, Echo?
I mean, that works. Just maybe continue to do that as we get closer.
I think we're going to run out of water before we get too close.
Well, I mean, from what I can tell, there was magic, but there isn't magic now. I've got 10 minutes of being able to use that spell to detect magic. Maybe shall we just see where we can get in 10 minutes?
Sure.
I mean, if you're sure it's magical, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Well, I'm pretty sure that this wasn't a natural death, and I'm pretty sure that there was magic involved, but the magic seems to be dissipating.
Okay. That's one of my concerns, that it wasn't a magic that caused it. It was like a poison.
Well, it may have been a magic, but it's not active right now that I can tell. But these are all great ideas.
Let's, I'll trust you on that. Let's go. I think we should stick together, though. Char's right about that.
Yeah, and I'm still willing to go sort of slightly first.
Okay.
So that the warriors have my back, and the monk, I mean.
So
monk warrior, same difference.
As you begin to make your way through the entrance of this ring fort into the lower ring itself, you notice that there are more of these mounds of dehydrated flesh scattered about the floor of the fort. Every now and then you find a body that seems to be almost petrified and like like what almost looks like sandstone. The look of the body and frozen in these forms are of sheer terror and pain. But for those who are not encased in the sandstone, are either pretty much full on sun-cooked corpses, or they are mounds of dehydrated flesh. As you make your way through this ring fort, there are no survivors.
Does this remind me of the stone gnome that we have in the bag, or is this different?
This is different but similar, as they seem to be petrified as well, but they are encased in what looks to be sandstone instead of the petrifying lawn ornament that you have. That is the basic like stone petrification, and you know that petrification came directly from a cockatrice.
So one basically gives you like a sort of a lifelike sculpture, and the other one gives you a figure encased in sandstone.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
I don't know who these guys pissed off, but
My
glad we got
pirate
out.
hat
We didn't
doubles
end up here.
as a Sherlock Holmes detective hat sometimes.
As you continue to make your way through, you come up to the second ring and it's more chaos. But this ring is more brutal than the first, as you can see full bodies of lizardmen seemingly ripped to shreds by what could only be described as a violent sandstorm. Their flesh torn and sprayed about in such a way it looks as if they had been just lost in the desert for days and have unfortunately come across the biggest sandstorm you can think of. Winds itself that could tear flesh from the body.
Do I know, or would Echo know, as Ganassi, if a Jinn is capable of this?
Go ahead and give me just a straight up intelligence check.
If I discuss this with Echo, because she's also a Ganassi, does it give me any kind of advantage or anything?
No, because this isn't a skill check. This is just a straight up like your intelligence.
Just my intelligence.
Just your intelligence,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
If she discusses it with me, can I make the check too? At the same time?
I would allow that.
Okay.
If Pearl made some sort of like out loud inquiry as to like if she wonders if a Jinn is capable of such power, then yes, I would allow that.
Yeah, and I know Echo's also a Ganassi, so that I would absolutely be consulting her. So my roll is a 2.
And that dice says an FU. That's a total of, let's see, intelligence 5. I don't know shit.
You, even though you are Ganassi, you yourselves have never come across a full-on Jinn or Genie before. You've heard rumors, but nothing that puts anything to solid fact.
I mean, to be fair, my father was also a Ganassi. I'm a few generations removed.
Well,
But, feel a little gypped after we saw what the other Ganassi could do.
yeah, I mean, this is, well, at this point in my life, this is way beyond anything that I could do. But I mean, Jinns are another whole thing entirely.
And as you're,
I don't know.
as you're conversing about this, there's a backdraft of air that rushes by all of you, and then a very audible clanging and jingling as you see just this pretty much wave of jewelry and weapons and coin hurling through the air towards the upper ring of the fort itself. Can I get dexterity saving throws from everyone?
Absolutely.
For the barbarians here, do we get advantage because
Danger
of
sense
our
would-
danger sense?
Danger sense would most definitely kick in because there is no way nobody's hearing the noise that this is making.
Nice.
Sounds like an angry wind chime, and it's coming this way.
A dire wind chime, exactly.
Oh, that's not bad.
A dire wind chime made out of swords.
That's a
Well,
17.
Better than I've been rolling all night so far.
The
Dex.
17, nice.
Mine would be an 18.
18, okay.
19.
19, okay.
And I also rolled an 18.
Very nice. So the max damage that would have been dealt is 10. So you can take 5 points of damage. Unless your barbarian or monk BS give you guys the ability to just cancel out all of it.
Only
Not
when
yet.
we-
But the monk
Give
does
us
get
time.
that BS soon.
Yeah, the
Yep.
monk does get that BS soon.
And this feels like a waste of deflect missiles, so it's okay. I'll just take the point.
Yes, because you would be able to deflect one piece.
Exactly.
The,
I'll deflect
the,
this one tiny piece and not take my. No.
Yeah, no. This is not something deflect missile or gloves and missile snaring or anything like that would allow you to circumvent.
I had a feeling. Give it time. I'll be able to do that BS.
But as soon as like the last bits of this treasure go to the top ring, the wind once again dies down.
You know, that wouldn't dehydrate us, but it would definitely hurt.
There's still mischief afoot of some sort.
Yeah, I think maybe we should go where the treasure was going.
Why not?
I mean, at least. Yeah, why
The
not?
captain isn't here to tell us we can't do it.
I might be able to snag some treasure too that way.
Mom's not here to tell us no.
Look, if we're gonna be forced to go get this gin, we want something out of this.
Hey, I'm not saying not to do it.
That's what worries us.
All right. So on the way up to the next ring?
For better
Why
or
not?
for worse.
Well, we've got to find the lamp. And, I mean... Oh, speaking of which, in all of this, would we have seen the lamp, or can I do a perception check to see if...
There was... You haven't really seen any lamp outside. And with the torrent of what was inside all of that treasure and everything, it would be impossible to tell if the lamp was inside of it.
That's fair.
Okay, and were there any, as we were going around or navigating our way, was there anything that appeared to be an obvious room or something that looked somewhat important that we...
Most of what you walked by have been pretty much converted into just living quarters. Like, and you could tell, like, it from the inside, the condition that they're in. It isn't really something that the lizard folk are used to, as a lot of, like, the inside was destroyed. But there's nothing inside that would say, this is where we're keeping the lamp.
Okay, so nothing looked secure enough to...
Yeah, nothing looked
Like,
as if
they
it would
obviously know that the lamp, I mean, I assume that they know the lamp is of some value, so they're not going to just, toss it somewhere, I wouldn't think. But who knows?
That might be a bit stretched for assuming.
Although, I mean, if you want to hide something, hide it in plain sight, right?
This is true.
I say we follow the stuff. If it's okay with you, Pearl, do you mind if I go a little bit ahead of us first and just try to
Sure. I'm
make sure we're not
happy to.
coming up on anything? I'd like to kind of just stealth ahead and
Sure.
at least give us a heads up if something's up there.
That's great with me.
Okay.
Echo. I'm happy.
Somewhere
with that.
like stealth ahead of the group, probably like 20, 30 feet, just so if something's there, I can give them a heads up.
Okay. Thankfully, the only thing you come across is more dead bodies, as this entire fort looks like it's just dead. Whatever did this made sure that there was to be nothing left alive inside.
Sounds like a gin.
Is there
Okay.
any obvious telltale signs of where that treasure was going, like dents in the wall from it smacking the wall or anything like that?
You know that it was going up to the top ring of
Okay.
this fort.
So now, if Echo is stealthing, we should be very quiet at this point, as we wouldn't be chatting or anything, right?
That's up to you all.
That's up to you three. I'm ahead.
But I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just going to be very quiet while she's stealthing ahead.
Very, very quiet. We're hunting
Oh,
gin.
yeah, well, you're the rabbit. I'm not. Just saying.
Okay.
Since we don't see anything, I'm just gonna keep going. Unless they make a noise saying I should come back. It indicates I should go back.
Making your way up to the final ring, you see the remnants of what used to be a large canopy tent that have now just been torn asunder and thrown apart from the torrent of winds and sand that had torn up the area. And standing there, holding the sand-stripped skull of a lizard man, is this large, gray-skinned individual. Rippling muscles, long white hair with a matching beard, a set of horns coming out of his forehead, seemingly staring and analyzing the skull as like it's just a newly claimed bauble. And before we get further into it, it is getting to be 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a quick break here. That way we can get up, stretch our legs, get something to drink, just in case combat happens. So stick with us, everybody. We will be right back.
I'm waiting.
Alrighty, we are. So before our break, you just encountered an individual, probably about 8 tall. So The bottom half of him seems to be almost shrouded by a small torrent of wind. You can see that he most definitely has legs, but there seems to be wind about him at all times. At the moment, he does not either notice you or doesn't care to greet you. He's just still seemingly enamored with this skull in his hands.
Looking around, do I see that lamp that we're after?
You do.
How
It
close
is
to the weird man is it?
currently attached to his hip.
To his hip, so he's carrying the lamp.
He's carrying the lamp.
Okay.
I've stopped crabby kittens before.
So does this is a stupid question, but he has feet and everything, right? Like
he does.
He's bipedal completely.
He's completely bipedal. He's just got that like circular torrent of wind around his lower half.
Okay.
That poses a problem.
But he hasn't noticed us.
He either hasn't noticed you or he just doesn't care.
Look on me.
Or he doesn't care to notice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna look at the rest of the group with a well, what now look.
Have we all noticed the lamp at this point, or?
It's very hard not to notice.
Okay.
Odd choice of waist attire, but
I'm not really one to judge. So, should we still go with like the ask nicely plan, or are we jumping straight to bombardment here?
I absolutely think we need to ask very, very nicely. But I don't think we're gonna get what we want.
Now, what is it that you want?
Well,
Is he just like slowly lowers the skull down away from his view and just crushes it in his hand.
not
we
to be lizard jerky.
well, yeah.
Well, that would be
we-
hard, seeing as how none of you look like lizards.
No. We were actually sent here by someone to retrieve something that they felt was very dear and very special to them, and that was all we had wanted.
Well, this would be the place to look, as these dried out husks now were quite lucrative thieves. He kind of looks back to just the immense pile of treasure behind him.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of like broke some of our stuff, so we were hoping to maybe, get some compensation for that too while we're here.
Well, in the means of compensation, I don't know if I can help you there, young lady. As you can see, they are all dead.
Now,
Well, they probably wouldn't mind if we just helped ourselves then, right? Right?
Well, they wouldn't, but I would. As by right, this treasure is now mine, as I was the one who slew those who previously held it.
you did all of this?
Yes.
No,
That's
what they-
very impressive, shall we say.
It was but a wave of my hand. This one, he just points down to like the shards of skull at his feet, made their third wish. Well, our contract was over. I meant to teach them a lesson about
Third wish. So, you grant wishes then? Or did?
Oh, I most definitely grant wishes. I am bound to grant to anyone who holds this, as he motions down to the lamp.
Funny you should mention that.
Not to seem rude or anything, but, were you living in that lamp, recently?
Living
Abiding?
is a kind
Existing?
term. It's a prison.
Um,
Something my rat of a son has placed me in.
would his name be Shax by any chance?
That would be his name.
Okay.
The little ingrate decided to try to take power from himself and entrap me.
In the lamp.
Yes, in the lamp.
So, if he were to, let's just step back a bit here. If the lizards had not made their third wish, and you were still in the lamp, and we were, say, to have taken the lamp back to Shax, what would happen? Just hypothetically, of course.
Who's to say? I don't deal in hypotheticals.
Yeah.
I deal in wishes.
Okay.
Am I to believe that my disappointment of a son has tasked you with retrieving the lamp?
Not us per se.
Yeah, we're sort of peripherally involved, like kind of not exactly hired help, but
But looking for the lamp nonetheless.
as yeah,
Not work. Yeah.
yeah, on behalf of someone else.
Oh, so you are just unfortunate third-party contractors.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's a
Yep.
switch I would use.
Yep. Mhm.
Well, in answer to your hypothetical question, touching the lamp would not end well for you. Trying to take the lamp now would end far worse, as I have no intention of going back into the thing, and I definitely have no intention of going back to my son. Though
So
I see 4 possibly willing bodies, maybe we can come to a compromise.
well,
What kind of compromise?
like we were just told to take the lamp back, right, guys? Like that was what we were told to do. Just take the lamp back and don't rub it, right?
It doesn't say anything has to be in the lamp.
No,
I
no,
am
there was nothing.
tied to the lamp.
Yeah. That's too bad.
That's not
The
good.
only reason why I remain as such right now is I am in possession.
So what's this compromise you want to come to, or deal you think about striking?
I require freedom so that I may take my revenge and put my son in his place. Though, by the rules of the Genie, I cannot free myself. But if a willing individual were to grasp hold of the lamp, summon me by rubbing it, and expel their 3 wishes to release me from this infuriating prison, well, they would have earned my favor.
So it's like some sort of like morality test. You know, gain the freedom of the genie, but it costs you all 3 of your wishes, type of thing.
Unfortunately, that is the case. Wish of that magnitude would cost all 3 wishes. As you can see, why nobody is ever willing to make it.
People are pretty greedy.
Indeed, especially when it comes to wishes.
So all 3 of the wishes would have to be used to grant you your freedom.
Indeed. My freedom is granted, and I'm on, as you humanoids say, my merry way.
And
And
you'd owe us a favor.
other than the fact that you won't kill us on the spot, what do we stand to gain from this compromise?
Well, I would think your lives would be payment enough.
Lives is a good start.
Start. The greed of mortals is eternal.
Well,
I'll
not
tell you
necessarily
this.
for us personally.
You free me, and you can have that. As he just points over to the mountain of treasure.
Done.
Perfect. What is your name?
Oh, me, Shara. I'm Shara. Hi.
Very well, Shara. In accordance of the Oath of Life, I hereby agree to your terms. My freedom for the treasure. And he takes the lamp off of his hip and he throws it to you. And as
instinctually she goes to catch it.
And as like it travels through the air, he is pulled along with it inside of the lamp. And now your understanding is you just have to rub the lamp to summon him. As you can see that there's a small yellow glowing rune now on the back of your hand. And you can it beats a faint glow in time with your heart.
I mean, that happened a lot quicker than expected, but we're all on the same page, right?
I mean, we don't have to tell them we released the genie. We can just say when we found the lamp, it was already like that. We didn't touch it. So then pick it up and carry it back.
Technically, we were just told to bring back the lamp.
Well,
and not rub it.
Yeah, we were also told not to rub it, and that is a thing that I'm probably about to do. But I mean, if this guy was like wrongly imprisoned, that's no different than when these lizard folk wrongly imprisoned us, right? We gotta help the guy.
Sure, we'll go with that. I mean, Jinn are not notorious for being the best people, if you can call them that.
Yeah, but neither are people.
Fair. I was gonna say neither are we, so...
It's a lot of treasure.
There's a lot of
treasure. I would have liked one wish for something else, but there you have it. What do you think, Muir?
We only have to bring back the lamp. Nothing has to be in the lamp.
We don't have to mention that we rubbed it. Charge is best not to talk when we give it back.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody. How are they? I mean, how do you know?
Once he finds out there's no one in the lamp.
in the lamp or not. I mean,
He's
really,
probably going to rub it.
he's going to have to rub the lamp or something himself.
Yeah.
Like, I
And if
mean,
we get accused, Char, just don't say anything.
Or I could just, like, wait outside or something when you guys go tell them.
There you
or
go.
how about this is how we found it? I mean,
Works
Technically,
for me.
once the lamp is in our possession, it was empty once we got it.
For everyone except Shara, that's a true statement. To Shara, you'll have to wait outside.
Yeah, I'm not so good at the hiding things part of all this. So when the time comes, maybe I'll just like not be a part of that conversation. But like we're all on the same page here. Like we should free this guy, right?
I would have taken the deal if you didn't, so that was a lot of treasure.
I mean, I'm just looking at how powerful he is, and his son's real powerful too. I think this whole thing is several levels above. I'd like to see them fight it out at their own level. I mean, really.
Honestly, I don't want that turned against us if someone else ends up releasing him, so I think we should stick to our word here. Or Char should.
Yeah. I don't want to get on the bad side of something this strong. And like, if this guy is strong enough that Shax was like, "Oh shit, I don't want to face off against him. I'm gonna put him in a bottle or whatever." I feel like this guy's maybe stronger than Shax, and I don't want to stand in
He did end
his
up in
way.
the lamp, Shara. Somehow he ended up in the lamp.
True, but I mean, if he was really a problem, then Shax would have like maybe killed him instead, right? But maybe he was too strong for Shax to do that. So he's like, I gotta imprison him in instead, and then like I don't know, why didn't he just throw it in the middle of the ocean or something? Then
But
nobody would get it.
Shax wasn't upfront with us really either, though. I mean, he made it sound like we were rescuing his dad, and he really wanted his dad back, and I didn't. I think he wasn't totally honest with us.
I mean,
nobody really has been, like, ever since we first departed. I'm beginning to come to that realization.
Black Spiral Games, thank you for that raid.
Except for the Possum crew. They're amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anything bad to ever happen to any of them.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page with you, Shar. I think we should release him.
I'm
especially when you talk about some sort of oath of life. I don't know if he's going to take your life if you don't.
Yeah, so this like thing appeared on the back of my hand.
Oh, holy shit! What's that?
Now, yeah, and it's like pulsing in tune with my heartbeat. So that's a little bit concerning. So I think we should. I should at least stick to my word here.
I don't know what that is, but that scares me.
I'm good with this. There's so many things going on here, and it would be not. Well, yeah, I'm good with this.
Yeah, nice, and I mean, these two duke it out. It's not our problem.
We get a pile of treasure out of it.
Yeah.
And not only do we get a pile of treasure out of it, but now our first mate is in our debt for doing his job for him.
Yes.
Well, he's sort of going to be the last person to be able to point fingers here.
Well, that's if anything's left on when our captain's done with them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's the captain, but I mean,
maybe she wanted us to leave that place so she could like shank him with no witnesses, type of thing.
I mean, either shank him or shag him. One of the two's happening.
You can do both.
That's fair. I don't judge.
that's maybe too much information, Shara. But
right, let's get on with this then.
Yeah, just do it.
So I will take the lamp in one hand and rub it with the other.
Okay. And after you've rubbed it about 3 or 4 times, this like powerful gust of wind jets out of the funnel as The genie is now once again standing in front of you. As he kind of gives you just a very mocking bow. And how may I be of service today?
Well, I would do I have to say like the whole, like I wish thing first?
Yes.
Or okay.
But by all of the rules and regulations, any wish must start with the words I wish.
Okay. I wish for you to be free from the confines of this lamp. Does that work?
And as you say that, you see a glint in his eye as he smirks and he grabs the scimitar in his hip and just in a quick motion splits the lamp in two.
Oh shit! Think we can glue it back together?
And
we didn't
as
tell him about.
As he does that, you can see the mark that was on the back of your hand fade away.
Look at Pearl, like we found it like that.
And he places the scimitar back on his hip, and he cracks his neck, and it carries out through the wind. Thank you. I was almost concerned that you weren't going to do it. You were going to double cross me with how long it took to rub the lamp.
Oh, no. We were just talking about, like, how do we not get in trouble for this type of thing?
Yes. Well, rest assured that trouble will not find you, as I'm about to deal.
Cool.
As I said, treasure's yours. Have fun with it. Be careful. I haven't looked at it, and some of it can be cursed, thieves never double check anything.
We'll check it all thoroughly.
Yes.
Hey, what's your name, by the way? Like, sorry, we never asked that, but it was a really tense situation.
Yes, you never asked my name. And thinking it, you don't know a lot about me or my kind.
Yeah, I know
a
nothing.
name would be detrimental to give.
Gotcha.
Is there something we could call you by?
If I have my way, you will never see me again.
Okay, that's fair.
But if if our paths do cross, I know Shara.
And are we able to take the lamp back, even though it's damaged?
He just starts to laugh at like these black clouds start to like encompass the sky over Tremere. When I'm done, there will be no place to take the lamp back to. As he like slowly begins to lift up off the ground as that torrent of air that was circling his waist begins to grow, and he just lifts higher and higher and just goes by out towards the location of that jungle. And as he does, you can see numerous thunderbolts beginning to strike that area as the winds begin to pick up. And almost like as in an instant, there are multiple tornadoes tearing that jungle apart. As you can see in the distance, various giant bodies being flung every direction. The sound of just full-on natural destruction ripping through the area. And within 10 minutes, there is nothing left of that jungle.
I hope the captain wasn't still in there.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh, we could be in so much trouble.
I mean, we can't be in trouble if they're dead, right?
Well, there's that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
And as soon as the last tree falls back to the ground, the sky clears, and he is gone.
So, we're just going to get our story straight now. We had nothing to do with this. We found it like this.
We didn't find anything. We don't even have a lamp.
Yeah, we have a lamp. It's in two pieces on the ground. We found it like
nothing to connect us to this whole. Clearly there's like no witnesses left anywhere.
I say we take our loot and get the hell out of here before someone does see us
Maybe
here.
what lamp?
We never found the lamp.
Yeah, I mean, if Shax is like dead or something now, then we don't even have to bother with the lamp, right? Because that was his deal with Bill.
Yeah, that sounds like Bill's problem.
But hey, treasure.
I wonder what this.
Oh,
Hopefully, it doesn't mess up Bill's deal that he had.
I wonder.
Yeah, Shax's dead. I guess doesn't matter.
If I don't know if I have detect curse, and there's a lot to. I don't even think we could go through it with something like that
How
at
about-
this point.
I say
How
let the
about-
crab have fun.
Yeah,
Just put it all with the crab.
you know,
we'll
and
deal with
it
maybe
later.
if we're pulling something out, we could kind of specify, but not cursed.
I don't know if the crab can do
The
that.
thing is with that, you can't necessarily circumvent curses.
Yeah, I know.
Even identify will not tell you if an item is cursed.
Yep.
Yeah, been down that road. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just help me shove it all into the bag here, and we can go through it more meticulously when we're not in a fort full of jerky lizard men.
Yeah. Is there anything that we should keep an eye out while we're pushing it on the bag for your spells? Been around druids before. I know there's certain things you need.
Well, I'll tell you,
Sure.
if there's a set of unbroken navigator's tools in there, I take that before just about anything else at this point.
Here's the question. Are you taking any point in time to go through the treasure, or is it just shovel it all in and get to a safer location?
Yes.
Yeah, I think just Chara's holding the bag, and she's just like arm down, scoop it all in.
Yeah, I think I'm helping
because
pushing
the
it
way
towards
the bag
Shara.
works, if everything is in there, could one of us not reach in and sort of do I'd like a set of unbroken navigator's tools later?
I mean, you technically could, and if the crab is able to find something like that, you may get something.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's enough here. I can probably
The
We can probably
risk
buy and do
the risk of shoveling everything into this bag is there is a chance that you may not be able to reclaim it once it goes into the bag, so you don't necessarily know what you put in there.
True.
and we don't want to have to do the inside out thing again.
I mean, everyone in this fort is dead now, right? So
Yeah,
it should be
they're-
safe enough for us to just go through it
Yeah,
here.
pretty much anything that was in here is now either a sandstone statue, torn to bits by wind, or dehydrated jerky. So it's just you
Yeah.
as the only living things here.
Slightly crazy concept. Pearl, do you have a piece of parchment on you?
Of course.
I think you and I have the same idea.
Throw all the money in the bag and inventory everything else before we put it in the bag.
This is true.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anything like coins or gems, just toss that in the bag, and then we write stuff down as we go.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't a purser for so many years for nothing. She takes out her quill and pen and parchment.
Well- You want us to just rattle off you what we find as we toss it in the piles?
Sounds perfect. I'm very well experienced at this.
That's what we'll do.
I even came with references, Not that it matters now.
I'm trying to write and my hand is cramping up on me.
Oof. That's the worst.
So in this pile of treasure, you have what comes to all combined 4,500 gold in coins. There's another 20 so odd gems that are inside here. 15 weapons that look decent. There are a lot of weapons in there that are completely trash. These look like
Which
They were-
those go in the corner.
yeah, those like a lot of the weapons that a lot of the items in here, the weapons and the armor and whatnot look to be more trophies than anything. But inside there are about 15 decent looking weapons, like well taken care of weapons. There's another about 6 pieces of armor, not full sets, but helm, breastplate, stuff like that. Just various pieces of armor.
And okay, just to go back a bit, 4,500 gold, 20 gems,
Yep. 15 decent
15
looking
decent weapons.
15
yeah,
decent looking
I'm good-
weapons.
good at
There are 6 pieces of jewelry. And like I said, there's about 6 pieces of just loose armor. And then there are 2 books. One is a rather thick looking book, no title, with almost a golden embossed dragon's eye on a red leather cover. And on the other one is this small, what almost looks to be like a little flip notebook. And it's got a single page in it. No distinct markings, no title, just a small handheld book with a singular page.
How big is that?
It pretty much fits in the palm of your hand.
And the page inside is blank as well.
The page inside of it is blank.
Right now.
That's odd.
Charlotte, guys, do you mind if I just actually put that flip notebook in my pouch just to keep it separate?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a book. It's not really worth anything to me.
Well,
Yeah.
it may be worth something, and the fact that the page is blank, it may have some sort of magical properties or something. But I don't want to take the time now to look at that. But I don't want it sort of, it might be hard to get the crab to find it later. But it might be handy to have at hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take it and keep it for now until we properly identify it, that's fine by me.
Yes, please.
Okay.
That gold dragon book, how big is that?
It's decent wizard tome size.
It's your tome size. Okay. If I use a second spell slot to do detect magic again, what do I get off of that? With that book?
Are you doing this like within the treasure pile itself, or are you only doing it to these 2 books?
The 2 items.
Both of them radiate magic.
Okay. And would I be able to carry that other tome as well, or and I wouldn't
It would
know
be-
if it's good magic or bad magic?
No,
you know.
it's there. It just has magic.
Well, detect magic will tell you what school magic, right?
Depending on what you're detecting, yes.
Okay, let's see here. Detect magic. Okay, sense the presence of magic, faint aura. Okay, and you learn its school of magic, if any. Yes. So yes, I would know the school for the 2 items.
Yeah, these 2 items do not have a specific school of magic.
Okay.
But detect magic isn't only focused on just an item. So
Well-
if you have detect magic up, because it
Yeah.
has a time period, correct?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
So if you were to do detect magic within the time frame of you calculating everything
Mm-hmm.
or taking note of everything, you would be able to tell what exactly in that pile is magical.
Yes.
So if you wish to do that, I can go ahead and tell you exactly what in this pile here is magical.
Yeah, because I assume we have everything separated into groups right now
Yeah.
as we were sorting it, so
Yeah,
it should be
Mhm.
fairly
Yeah.
easy to.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can just make notes.
Yep. So out of the 15 weapons, 4 of them are magical. Out of the 6 pieces of armor, 3 of them are magical. And out of the 6 pieces of jewelry, 2 of them are magical.
And the books.
I will say, one of the rings is familiar to you, Shara, as it's not necessarily a school of magic, but it resonates from like a druidic nature.
Shara or Pearl?
Pearl.
Okay, one of the rings druidic. Okay, all right. Okay. If I handle the ring, do I get anything more from it at this time?
If you spend 1 hour with the ring, pretty much one uninterrupted hour you're inspecting the ring, you will learn the capabilities of said ring. Or if you have the identify spell, you can just pop that and instantly know.
Don't have that, no. Would you mind if this one ring here, it feels like something I should familiar somehow? Could I just keep that aside and maybe Jenka could help me a bit later to figure out exactly what it is? I think it might be I think it's druid specific. I mean, not to claim anything, but would you guys mind?
Technically, you wouldn't even need to wait for Jenka. You take an hour and just look at the ring and you'll know.
I'll know soon enough, but I just don't want to spend the time now. But is that okay?
Yeah, it seems fine to me. I mean, it's small enough that you can carry it with no problem.
Yeah.
These other things, if you want to point out to me specifically which ones are magical, I'll kind of like remember that so I can remember those things when I reach into the bag to get them later.
Okay.
Depending what they are, we might want to just keep them out.
There's like armor pieces and stuff. And
like, do you want to go
unwieldy.
into the specifics of which ones they are or not?
I was just thinking, like, just a little mental exercise for Shara here so she can identify, okay, that's one of the magical weapons. I'll remember that so I can remember that shape when I go to pull it out of the bag later, type of thing. Just so
That
I'm
was
not
actually
pulling
a
random
question
stuff.
for the DM, sort of.
I'm sorry, what was that question?
Oh, an out of character question for the DM. Could Shara was asking to know which specific weapons and armor
Yes.
were magical, so that we would know if, like, I'm going to sort of keep the ring with me until I sort out what it is. Some of these other things might be worth just keeping out.
Yep. Okay, so what we have for the magical items, since you did use detect magic, is the ring that Pearl is holding on to. There is also a necklace. For the armor sets, there is a pair of bracers, a helm, and a pair of boots. And then for the weapons, you have a dagger, a crossbow, a chained blade, and a net.
Magical net. That's not something you see.
You know, yeah, that's not something you see every day.
Magical net.
Okay, so dagger, crossbow, chained blade, and a net. There's a helm, boots, bracers, and...
There is only 3 pieces of armor.
Oh, I got them all then. Okay.
Yep.
And a ring and a necklace.
The cool thing is everybody can just sit down and inspect items. That's not limited to wizards.
Yeah.
which is something I like that was that was put in there. That way nobody had to rely. The poor wizard didn't have to take their entire rest to identifying every item somebody came across.
The only exception to this rule is season 2 of Destiny Forge, wherein Kyo is apparently the only one that can identify items.
I forgot why that was.
She couldn't,
oh,
but people just kept asking
yeah,
her to.
that's right. Everyone's like, Kyo, come on, get a success.
Like, you do magic, you can identify this, right? It's just like, yeah,
I don't have
okay,
any
I
abilities
guess.
for that.
You're a druid, you do magic, so technically you're a wizard.
And she was just used to doing what she was told, so she did it.
True.
You know, it's not even close to lunchtime, and we've got all this done.
Yeah, it's just now becoming noon at this point in time.
So I had a thought while you were kind of like looking over all of this stuff. We don't know where to meet up with the crew again, or our captain and first mate again anymore, because that place doesn't, I think, exist anymore. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I think if we kind of remember back, we need to get a hold of our friends, the possums, somehow. We need to signal them. Now, we don't have that flare, but you've got that lovely flail. I'll bet you could create a heck of a noise with that.
I mean, are you looking to summon the possums to take you back home? You haven't.
Well, or
you haven't necessarily gone to your destination yet.
well,
No.
no, there's that. And I, maybe the next step is to. I think we can get back, to the ship when we have to, Shara, probably by making a noise in another way. But really, we kind of got waylaid a bit in terms of where we were heading when we actually got picked up by these lizard men to start with.
Yeah, I mean, we're still gonna be heading to that place near the western coast, but like we should probably do that as a full crew, and we don't know how to meet up with the rest of our crew, our captain and our first mate.
Well, if our captain and our first mate didn't stray from where they were, this may or may not be very good. And
there was
I don't know.
conversation between the group that they would be behind you shortly. She just had to have a one-on-one with Bill about captain things. So you're pretty sure they made it out of that forest or that jungle before it got completely destroyed. If not, somebody else is now the captain.
There seems to be a real hazard to being the captain of this.
Yeah, why do you think I never volunteered for the position?
When you're the last one left, Shara, then you'll be the captain.
I think maybe Bryant will be the captain before I am.
Technically, if both Jenka and Bill did die, Bryant would be the captain.
Yeah, I think Bryant is next in line, and then Pearl is after that. And then I think Helmsman and like Cannoneer are kind of like on the same level.
At that point in time, you're just running bare bones anyway.
Yeah.
It's like you and 4 other people.
You're being awfully quiet. What do you think?
Oh, well, I mean, we really should meet up with them, alive or dead.
Well, preferably I'd like to not meet up with them if they're dead.
Well, there's that.
Then you're getting into like undead territory, and I mean, I'd kill them if I had to, but I'd feel weird about it.
But if you're killing an undead, that's different.
Yeah, but if it's wearing the face of your friend, I mean, you still do it. You just maybe hesitate for a moment first. Well, maybe not. It depends
may
on
be
the type of friend
sad.
they were. So,
Well-
I mean, it sounds like we can either, like, wait here for them
You
to
think
show
that's
up,
good? I think
or...
this is a bad place to wait here.
I mean,
I
everyone's
mean-
dead, right? So that's
Well, yeah,
safe.
everybody's dead, but you know.
And we know the guy that killed them, and he seems cool. So
Well, yeah, but how much? How will we explain this? I mean, they're never gonna believe we did this.
well, I mean, like it seems they probably saw kind of like everything that was going down if they're not too far behind us. But we could wait here for them, or we could continue forward and maybe they'll just catch up with us at some point.
Yeah. I don't think there's much left to do here, really.
I say we go find them, to be very...
I think we should try to meet up with them, but I don't, do we just wait here and assume they'll come here, or do we try to do something a little more active than that?
Well, the plan was that they would meet you at the encampment.
Oh, okay. Well, then that,
Preferably outside, because if they see everything desiccated and lizard jerky everywhere, they might just not come inside.
True.
Assuming
there's-
that we suffered the same fate.
there's that.
I mean, if I saw a fort full of dehydrated lizards and no sign of my comrades, I might just turn around the other direction and say, oops, well, they
But
didn't
we
make
didn't,
it.
did we? We went in there after we saw
We
exactly
did.
that. We did.
But Jenka, I'm sorry, the captain, kind of seems like the person that would be like, yeah, no, not my problem, and then just leave.
Yeah.
So she might not venture in like we did.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And in this case, look at the treasure.
Lots of treasure. Oh, shit, that reminds me. I wanted to look for one other thing. The room that we're in, does this seem like...
I'll say right now, there is no room. There's
Right.
just, that was a destroyed, like, tent. You're still
Right.
out in the open.
Okay. Is there anything that we passed by or anything in this immediate vicinity that seems like it might house documents of some kind?
If there were documents to be had, they would have been found in the pile.
Okay. Well, since there doesn't seem to be anything left of any sort of like writings, because we didn't find anything. If there was, probably got torn up in, the treasure storm. Treasure storm. That's a great name for a ship, guys.
That is a great name for a ship.
That is, Shara.
Okay, so next ship we get, we're calling it Treasure Storm. What was I saying?
Write that down.
Right.
Because
Papers.
we'll forget. I'll do that.
Yes, you do that. I was gonna look for like a deed or something to this place. Clearly there isn't one, so I'm just declaring it now. Since we're the only ones left standing, this place belongs to us now.
Shara, the moment you say that, there is just a burst of wind not wind magic, just a burst of wind as all of the bodies and everything are just flung out of the ring fort.
Did Did I just do that, or was that one of you guys?
That was you.
You certainly have a way with words, Shara.
As you feel a bit of sand sort of like swirling in your hand as a deed just appears in it.
Well, shit.
What's it say?
Have a look over the deed, see exactly what it says.
It is a very professionally drafted legal document proclaiming that you are the owner of this parcel of land.
Shara personally?
Shara personally.
Oh, Shara.
I never realized it was that easy.
Oh,
It isn't.
I will say this, that this ring fort is now your property along with the beach behind it.
I feel like you just...
Found a great place to retire? Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the Jinn didn't have anything to do with that in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, even if he did, it seems like a good thing, though, right?
At
Like,
this
look at this
moment
place.
in time, a little bare bones. Basic, but
I mean, all the dead bodies are gone. That's a step in the right direction.
where exactly are they gone to?
I don't know. They like flew off somewhere. They're
But
outside my
somewhere.
property, not my problem now.
Oh. Oh, Shara. Oh, dear. So that is the beach deep enough that we could dock a ship?
Yes.
Oh.
Given if you were to put in work to make a dock house over there, you can most definitely dock a ship.
Seems to me like we have a new home port if we're willing to put in the work.
Well, not terribly defensible, though. You know?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Imagine if we can get that giant cannon thing from the possums, station it here right on the shore. No ship would ever dare to approach this place.
From the ocean.
Well, if a ship is approaching this place from anywhere other than the ocean, I think we got bigger problems.
I've heard of that.
Random
mean,
ships
don't
just
the
appearing in
possum-
mountains.
Don't the possums have a ship that's on land?
True. But they're welcome to come here.
No, I'm just, sort of thinking of, like, I'm sure that the lizard men thought that this was very defensible, and we were trying to figure out how to break into it, and then, poof.
Yeah, but to be fair, they took a ruin and just put a bunch of spiky sticks around it.
Yeah, they tried to defend it with sticks. And they tried to defend it against a genie or a djinn or whatever that guy was. We know better. I hope.
Do you?
Well,
You guys know better.
well. Well, I mean, we didn't have this before, and we have it now. Don't lose that deed. And who do we show that deed to? How do we hold this piece of property? There's having and getting and keeping. They're all a little different, Shara. I'm not in any way trying to discourage any of this, but we'll have to think about that. We probably would need crew that were on land to at least guard and defend this if we had it set up so that it was our port, but it would be really nice to have our own port.
Like I just gave you something to sink your money into.
Exactly.
You did.
Every crew needs a base.
And I mean, you know what? The possums, they're not that far away. We could, contract them to build this place back up for us. And then, we go into the city that's not that far away and hire some people to man it for us when we've got the money, of course.
I think it all definitely has possibilities. And it doesn't look like we have a giant problem anymore either.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that. Like, we totally fucked up their day, and they didn't even see us.
Well, as much as I really hate wanton killing, I will rather admit that the lizard men sort of had it coming from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, they were like abducting people and forcing them to fight each other, right?
Yeah,
The fighting is awesome, but the abducting part, not so much.
Well, I mean, fighting because you want to fight is a little different than, fighting when you don't. If you can call the shots, it's good, but I didn't like where that was going, potentially.
I think I understand what you're saying. Like, I always want to fight, so I can't relate, but I think I understand.
It's a difference between a fair fight and not a fair fight. Yes?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes when it's not a fair fight, that makes it feel even better when you win anyway. Let's face it, I'm
Pearl
still here,
Spencer
so
forehead,
I always
shakes her
win.
head.
Mira gets it, right? Mira?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm still not on board with the abducting part of that. That was just no.
Yeah.
That's the part that isn't the fair part.
I guess. Yeah. Trying to explain not fighting to a bunch of barbarians never really works out.
Yeah, Pearl's sort of
So-
realizing that,
So wait, we're not supposed to punch people?
this is
We are, but we're apparently supposed to have their permission first.
I didn't say permission. But would you get would there be joy in pummeling someone who couldn't even defend themselves? I mean,
Depends on the day.
oh, okay. I can see that I'm never gonna make my point. It's fine. But we'll move on. So what do we spend the time now and start trying to look at these things in more detail while we're waiting for Captain and Cannonball?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that. I don't know if we should. Like, they were going to meet us here, right? Or at least what they thought was here.
Well, it's still here, and it's neater now than it was. I mean, now there's no reason that they wouldn't come in, really, especially if we were near the
Now
gate.
all the bodies are outside.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere. If Pearl goes down to what was the front gate area and looks out, what does she see now?
Just an open field.
No
you don't,
bodies.
You don't see any bodies
What is-
anywhere. No.
Okay.
So they
You
were
know-
they were most definitely thrown far enough that they're out of eyesight.
So I think if we were sort of just down here near the gate where, we were obvious and they could see us, I think we'd be pretty good here.
Yeah, I mean, and we can use the time to look at some of this stuff more closely, I guess. Because, yeah, I don't want to go too far without them,
Yeah. But I
That's
think
fair.
it's, I think since we sort of have the time, I think it would be certainly time well spent to look at these things in detail and see what we've got.
Yeah.
So before we get into what you got, let us go ahead and take a very quick break here. Because I have nothing to drink and I'm feeling my throat getting dry, so that's not good when you're a DM. So let's go ahead and take a very quick break and we will be right back.
Okay.
And we
That
Oh, you gotta,
we are back.
you gotta read Tricorn Isles chat.
Wait, what?
DM saw it in this chat.
It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
It's all good.
We might be filling tilted on the destruction of his deal. With
Oh.
Shanks.
Okay. Well, welcome
Sorry.
back. So,
Rojan, I took a moment during the break, and in our chat, I've dropped the list, so we've got that to refer to as well.
okay. Cool. That way, everyone, that way both Tiltbot and Zoro are informed as to what shenanigans you were up to. So before we get started off again, I just wanted to do a quick announcement again that as this is Extra Life's tabletop month, we are doing a double incentive bonus for any donations that we receive from now until the end of August. It's pretty much 2-for-1 special. Any donation incentive that you put money towards will produce a second one. Bring up the menu again here. Meaning, you know, if you really want to be generous and you want to be evil to the players, that would be that the $100 donation would require two pulls from the deck of many things to either one player of your choice or two separate players. This also includes the auto successes. This includes the health potions, the advantages, everything like that will go. We'll have a 2-for-1 special going on it. This is all for Extra Life for the Lauren Small Children's Center up in Bakersfield, California. It's one of our primarily focuses on the channel, streaming. Like every one of our games raises money for Extra Life, so it's something that we're passionate about. And since it is tabletop and we are tabletop month and we are passionate about that as well, we figure why not make it a little more juicy. But I think I remember all of you saying that you were going to take a look at those items.
Sure were.
So Who wants to start off?
I really, really, really am curious about the chained blades. Like,
Okay.
when you say chained blades, what are we...
You ever play Soul Calibur?
Yeah.
Ivy's weapon?
Yeah.
That.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll
Yeah,
take a
now
look
I'm
at-
really curious.
I'll take a look at the bracers.
Okay, so Gilly's gonna take a look at the bracers.
And Pearl's going to be looking at that ring first.
Okay. And what is Shara gonna look at?
I gotta look at that net, man.
That's fair.
True. That is fair, because when do we ever have nets in a
Right.
game? All right. So, who wants it first?
Muir spoke up first, so I think Muir can go first.
I really, really need to know.
Okay, so this chain blade looks like a longsword normally.
Yeah.
And there is a thumb switch on the hilt that you can flip that will then extend the blade itself. And while it's extended like that, it has the same range as a whip.
Which is 15?
I believe a whip is 15. Check. Let me just double check here.
It was 15 last I remember looking.
Let's see. Of course, it's going to make me click on the link to see the full details. It has reach, so it's 10.
Okay.
So it would have 10 feet. Though, as it is magical, there is another aspect to this weapon. While in chain form, if you were to grip the hilt as you were to whip, the blades themselves would fly off the whip itself and become projectile-like weapons towards whatever you're trying to attack. These things would then swarm the target for another round, and as it's doing that, the target itself is enveloped in a torrent of these blades, and it will do continual slashing damage until the round is over and the blades are then retracted back to the whip.
I'm okay with all of these things.
The downside,
really cool.
the downside to this is you need to have the whip still in hand to recall the blades. If you don't have it in hand at that time, the blades will just fall to the ground.
You know, as a barbarian, not perfect. But we'll be saving that for Jinka.
Definitely, that could be a good
That's
Jenka
not-
weapon.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a Blood Hunter style toy right
Yeah.
there.
It really does.
I don't know if
So-
my notes are good enough here, but
So the
Fast.
blade itself will do basic longsword damage. When it's in the whip form, it will do the same thing. So there's no differential. But when you do when the chains are fired out, there are 5 blades that will be expended. Each one of those blades will do a D4 damage. Now, while the blades are out and active, there is a DC save of 16 to take half damage from the torrent, but that's just to make things balanced and fair.
There was that a dexterity save or a different?
Dex save, yes,
Dex
it
save,
is a
okay.
dex save.
okay. Okay, DC 16 dex save. If I'll just drop this into our chat, and then if it needs to be edited, it can be. But
Yeah, I think you and a couple other people are also taking notes, so thank you very much for you guys doing that.
I leave note taking to the spreadsheet people.
I know
Or the
we
people with the
would,
very fast
but-
typing skill.
Yeah.
Earl, that ring of yours,
Mm-hmm.
technically not magic, but it adds a bit of it's an addition to your wild shape.
Oh.
While wearing this ring, you can transform into swarms.
Oh.
Like, which is like something that normally isn't even accessible to the highest level druids. This will allow you, as long as you still fit within the CR rating of said swarm, and you've seen the swarm you're trying to turn into before, same rules applying for wild shape, you are able to turn into a swarm of insects or a swarm of whatever.
Does that include giant spiders?
No, that would not include giant spiders because normally swarms are small.
Okay,
But
so like bees.
Bees,
A swarm of spiders.
a swarm of tiny spiders, a swarm of insects, a small school of fish would
Be a bunch of little
also
black widows.
which would also be considered a swarm. So like if you were in the water, you can turn into a like a small school of fish.
Does that include piranhas?
If you
Sorry.
could, if you know what, if you had the level to change into a swarm, if like you were able to change into a swarm of like a CR equivalent, yes, you could turn into a swarm of barracuda.
No, I'm not barracuda. Piranha.
Oh, piranha. If you're in the correct water, yes.
Yum. So how many? So the wild shape swarms. Does that go with every wild shape change option? So if I
Yes.
can do say 2 wild shapes, I could do 2 wild shape swarms.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
This just adds like an extra art into your shape changing.
Yeah, there is one type of druid I think that can do swarms at one of the higher levels, but
I think I think it's circle of bees. Circle of bees, I think, could transform into a swarm of bees.
because
Which
I'm sure
we,
somewhere I've read about a druid.
Yeah, Azarin confirms that circle of bees is that one, and I'm gonna trust Azarin because Azarin plays a circle of bees druid.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
played before he died.
True.
Yeah.
Rip.
okay. So ring is not magical, but it adds the addition of wild shape swarms within CR rating.
Yeah, it's still technically magical, but it's not. It's more of a magical extension.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, the chain blade, is that an attuned item or no?
Yes, it is an attuned item.
And what about the ring?
Same thing with a ring. You have to be a druid and you have to be attuned to it. It's a druid specific ring.
Well, since I'm the only druid in the group at this time.
Yeah. No,
I'll
that
put
sounds like
dibs on
it's
that.
your ring.
Okay.
Right.
Sort of keeping up here.
Yep. Echo,
Yes.
your bracers. Sort of a double-edged sword here. As the only way these bracers are active is if you take damage. But
Okay.
a quarter of the damage that you take is stored in these bracers. And then you are able, like, once you have the damage stored in the bracers, you're able to expend them in an attack in order to kick up the damage that you deal in a physical attack.
That's actually pretty cool.
Now, I will say that there is a decay to this, that the damage that is inside the bracers is only active for 24 hours and then it just fades away.
That's fair.
So this isn't something that you can, keep tanking damage the entire campaign and then nuke the boss, nuke the final boss in one shot.
Yeah. Where's the fun in that? Come on.
So stored for 24 hours?
It's stored for 24 hours.
Or is that like one of our days, however many hours that is?
Basically, a long rest resets it.
Yeah, no, not a long rest.
No.
24 hours.
So
It's
24
in there
hours.
for
Okay.
it's in there for one full day.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are cool. I can see you, one of the barbarians, using that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to take a lot of hits.
Attuned?
Yes, this is most definitely a tuned item. So going down. Oh no, we got the net.
The net.
So this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just curious. Like, why would that be a better fighter weapon than, like, to me, it would be a reasonable monk weapon in a way, or
It would be reasonable for the monk, but most likely, because of the type of monk I am, I'm better at jumping in, hitting damage, jumping back out.
And monks are less likely to be hit than a
Yeah.
barbarian usually, except at
Yeah.
high levels. Then nobody can hit anybody.
Yeah.
But monks get like really high AC really early on, and they have a bunch of skills for avoiding things as well.
They're in and out
Yes.
fighters. You're muted,
Versus
Raven.
the our barbarians are tanks, and they're going to
And
sit there and they're going to
barbarians-
take hits.
Barbarians tend to reckless attack,
Mhm.
which means things get advantage on us. And with question, Mergen.
Yes.
So for the application of the rage damage reduction, do you grab would it snapshot the number before
Before.
or after the reduction?
Before the reduction.
Ooh. That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a
Okay.
barbarian, because they can cut that in half and still take all that damage to push back out. Yeah. So one of our two barbarians need to take those bracers.
so the basically the amount is before
Any reductions.
any amount be okay.
Mhm.
Amount.
And as far as the damage that gets stored within it, is it like only one set amount of damage, or is it cumulative, or
Cumulative.
is it like Ooh.
It keeps building
Ooh.
until the 24 hours and then it just decays away.
Yeah.
So do you
Now-
do you call the attack, or how does that work too?
Yeah, so pretty much you have full control of when you want to expel that damage into attack. I will tell you this right now, though. It has to be decided before you make the attack roll. So if you swing,
That's
it's
fair.
expended in a whiff.
Gotcha.
Now does taking damage reset the counter, or does it kind of just keep
It's
rolling?
24 hours since the last time you took damage.
Oh dear.
No, you cannot cause damage to yourself. It has to be
But I can cause damage as king.
It has to be a legitimate combat scenario.
There's Shara just picking a fight randomly every time.
Just walking up to some
Echo,
drunk.
hit
You
me!"
hit me.
Echo's just
You
going to
do
run
it,
around
too.
punching the barbarians all the time.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
There is no way to game this, I will say.
No, that's fair. It's awesome without gaming it.
Please don't break the game, because then I have to break the game. All right, so for the net, it looks like your standard fishing net. You know, very, very tight corded rope and all of that. Though there are small barbs along the threading of the rope. And with this net, what you can do is anybody you ensnare, you entrap in the rope, the next round you can activate an electrical current that goes through it to shock them. The damage of said net from the electricity is doubled if they are in water. The electricity itself will do about 2d6 electrical damage on land. In water, it will do 4d6. The DC to escape said net is 15.
Dex?
Yes, most definitely Dex.
Very nice. Attuned?
No. This is not an attuned item.
Even better.
So, still on the list, we've got the necklace, the helm, the boots, the dagger, and the crossbow. So, I'm just
And those books.
And the books. This is true. So, what else would you like to... Who's going to look at what, I should say?
I want to look at the spiral ring notebook when it's my turn.
Okay.
I think Shara is going to look at the necklace.
You books.
Okay, Shar is going to look at the necklace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pearl, you said you were looking at the flip notebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
That-
I'll take the other book, the golden embossed dragon-eyed one.
Okay.
You
Monk likes books a little.
for the sake you know what? There's a pair of boots there.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a helm.
Mm-hmm.
Honey boots.
I gotta have a look at the boots.
Okay.
Bunny needs new boots.
Now all I can think of is like Puss in Boots, but Bunny Rabbit instead.
So, just
But they're
going
red, right?
Mm-hmm.
going from the top down here. The necklace that you hold in your hand, Shara, is something that holding it fills you with a bit of disgust. It is not a good feeling at all. It is almost the utter definition of unholy. What this necklace will do is it will allow you to swap life force with another entity. Technically, you are going to swap HP with one another. So there is a bit of a caveat here to it. A failed result will end up instantly knocking you down to 0 with one death save already failed, as you pretty much just expelled your life force off into nothing.
This sounds like something that Mia would love.
The DC save to this is not a save, but it is a contest. This is a wisdom based contest. Upon success, the HP totals will be swapped. So whatever they have, you get, and whatever you have, they get.
And I assume this is like standard roll off, highest number wins.
Yep.
Interesting. And how long does that swap last?
That swap lasts, period. Like your max HP doesn't change, but you just swap HP with whatever you're aiming that amulet at. And the amulet itself is just this twisted, disgusting looking skull with like a singular green, like sickening green emerald in the center of its forehead.
And attuned?
Most definitely attuned. Also, if you die because of this, because of a fail, you cannot be brought back.
Yeah, sounds like a Mia wet toy.
It really does sound like something Mia would love.
Oh yeah.
The boots.
Boots.
Boots. Here. These are very strange looking boots, as they look to be made of suede. Though when put on, the boots give you an insanely increased mobility. These boots,
So we've
when
got Turbo
activated,
Bunny with increase.
these boots, when activated, will allow you to use a burst to move at 4 times your normal movement speed. Though doing so is going to require a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage. Failure of the Constitution saving throw will place 3 levels of exhaustion on you, as you are pushing your body far beyond the limit that it was ever meant to move. Though, while these are active, the laws of physics do not apply. If you wish to run straight up into the air, you could. If you wish to run across liquid surfaces, you could. Run up walls, go ahead. But the full amount of movement must be expelled. You cannot run for a short burst and stop.
You change direction.
You can, but that comes with another check.
Makes sense. Imagine it wouldn't be easy to do.
No.
Just curious if it's possible.
These are technically considered a cursed item, and because of such, do not require attunement.
So the con save is at disadvantage, and you take 3 levels of exhaustion if you fail it.
Yes.
Do we get to know what the DC on that con save is?
17. Because it is taxing to your body.
That's
I will
fair.
tell you, I
Fair.
will say this as well. If you can attempt to do this as many times as you want per day, but after the first one, the DC begins to climb because you are putting more and more stress onto your body.
Yep.
Oh, this one is going to be dangerous. Gilly,
Yeah.
the book that you have in your hands is a draconic almanac.
Okay.
Reading this book from front to back will give you proficiency in the draconic language.
Okay.
It will also allow you knowledge of all common dragons. Hello, Evie. And once you have completed the book, you will know a ritual to summon a dragon to your location.
Okay.
Though the ritual itself does not tell you specifically which dragon you are summoning. It is just a standard summoning ritual of a dragon.
Does it specify age of dragon?
Nope.
Or is that okay? It's
It
just
is
a dragon
a
will appear.
RNG roll of the dice, dragon will appear.
I assumed at that point.
It also has a chapter on draconic grafting.
Interesting.
Sounds like a Tickle or Ash book. Tickles, yeah,
it
Tickles,
does.
it's a draconic booty call book.
The temptation for Echo just to
it's-
sit down and start reading the book.
Also, a
It's
Mia
really
book.
high.
She's got a draconic almanac in her possession right now as
This
well.
is true. The book itself will take a grand total of 32 hours to read through. This isn't a dice roll clock or anything. This is 32 hours.
Right?
That will 32. So it will, like when
you
you
start, stop, or you have to start and go until you finish.
you can start and stop.
Okay.
So you become proficient in Draconic, and it gives you what kind of a knowledge of dragons?
It gives you knowledge of common dragons.
Knowledge of common dragons. Thank
Yep.
you. And you basically get a rando dragon when you do the
You
summoning.
have a draconic summoning ritual that will just randomly summon a dragon to your location.
But it's a random dragon.
It's a random dragon.
Oh,
And
Echo is really tempted just to start reading the book.
I feel like you're also very deliberately avoiding saying that the ritual gives you any kind of control over the dragon, implying that it's just a dragon. You
It's
sort it out from
just
there.
a
It is,
dragon.
yeah. That's
It
exactly
is
what he's saying. It's
just
a
a
random
dragon.
dragon.
I figured that was the case. I wanted to make sure we were clear on
Yep.
that.
You have only with that book in hand, you have no control over said dragon.
Of course.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that. It's kind of a drop a dragon here, run away.
Yep.
Here, have a dragon.
Not my problem anymore.
Now, this may not be something that you can tell us, but is this essentially summoning an existing dragon from elsewhere in the
Yes.
world?
You are pretty
Okay.
much taking a dragon and ripping it to your location.
So they're overall probably not going to be a happy dragon.
Yeah, probably not a very thrilled dragon when it shows up.
What am I doing here?
Uh,
Why am I
To be
here?
fair, we said
What have you
basic
done?
dragon, right? AKA not
No.
a world dragon. Damn it.
No.
Didn't say that.
And with
Random.
with the part of
Dragon.
draconic grafting in the book as well, you kind of have a feeling this is a means to give you the knowledge of dragons, the knowledge to summon dragons, and the knowledge to kill dragons in order to complete the grafting.
Makes sense.
Oh Lord.
I feel like Echo's curiosity is going to win out. She's just going to sit down and start reading the book.
Read the book, read the book, read the book.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry, guys, but her curiosity wins out.
Pearl. Much like the pendant filling Shara with disgust, you get another sickening feeling as you hold this book in your hand. As there is just a singular piece of paper inside of it. And all it says at the top of the paper is, "Give me a name." What you hold in your hand is an infernal assassination contract. By writing the name of a person down in this book, a infernal being will be loosed upon the world in order to carry out your death wish. Though this comes with a cost. You must offer payment in exchange for this contract. Though the contract itself, the payment, is not specified. but it is in your possession.
Okay, is it attuned or?
No, anyone can use this. Anyone who has their hand on it, they got
Okay.
a quill and ink. They can jot any name down they want.
So the page says,
Give me a name.
okay, the page says, give me a name. It's an infernal assassination contract. By writing the name of someone, an infernal being will be released upon the world to carry out the contract, but a payment will be required. Not attuned.
Not attuned.
But an unspecified payment, eh?
An unspecified payment.
Okay. That's one of those things Pearl probably wouldn't keep. Make it a sign.
Sounds like a
Oh,
rogue's
Raven,
item.
you are an evil person.
It's the guest book for our new piece of property.
Put your
Oh,
name here.
that is such a good idea.
Oh, God.
I'm adding that down to an idea. I'm adding that down as like another setting.
You know, we gave you ideas last game too. We might as well keep the trend going.
Yes.
Oh.
All right. So all that are remaining are the helm and the crossbow. Oh, and the dagger. I'm sorry, there is also a dagger.
Well, it sounds like there's 3 people left because Echo is out.
Echo is just like cashed out.
Book mine.
All right.
Yeah, you know, I'll work on the helm
Okay.
because we're
And
just
there's,
chilling
I'm
out.
sorry, there's the helm, the
Crossbow
dagger,
and the dagger.
I'll have a look at the dagger.
Okay.
I'll take a look at the crossbow.
Okay. So the helm. Pretty much makes you an unstoppable force. With the helm on, the faster you move, the harder you can run into things and not take damage. You are pretty much given an amount of temporary hit points that are equal to your movement speed. With this, you can throw yourself into solid objects, into people, or whatever, and collide with them, causing both you and the person damage, but as long as, you know, you don't exceed the temporary HP that's given to you, you should be fine.
Equip boots, equip helm. Let's go.
That was my thought somewhere.
This helm does require attunement,
Okay.
and there seems to be something else involved with the helm, but you can't tell what. The dagger. Holding the dagger in your hand, Pearl, it doesn't feel like it's got any weight to it. It's feather light, but it seems to be perfectly balanced. When somebody attunes to this dagger, there is a bit of a double feature to it. They can throw the dagger, and then as a bonus action, Misty Step to its location.
Oh. Always a nice item.
Though, if they were to attack with the dagger, an after image appears afterwards and repeats the same attack. If you are a rogue, sneak attack will apply.
We do know in a rogue. Our blood hunter's also a rogue.
They tend to do that.
This is an
Hey.
attuned weapon.
Okay, I kind of got lost in the shadow part. So you throw the dagger as a bonus action. You misty step to that location.
Yep. That's
And then-
that's the first functionality of the dagger. The second one
Okay.
is when you make an attack, an after image of you follows up with the same attack.
Ah,
And if you are a rogue, sneak attack applies. And for the crossbow, this one's a bit rough. The bolts themselves are pretty much comprised of your life force.
Mhm.
It makes blood bolts. Every time you fire the crossbow, you are going to be taking the exact amount of damage that your target takes. So these bolts ignore damage reduction and they ignore resistance. They have an ethereal strike to them. If you do not have the HP to fire this, you cannot fire it. You can't pretty much, kill yourself with this thing. You have to have the blood to supply it. The bolts themselves do basic crossbow damage.
And is it attuned?
This is an attuned weapon, yes. With the amount of power that it holds, it is definitely an attuned weapon.
You gotta put something like that in the hands of a person
There-
that notoriously has a weak spot for blood magic.
There is also no reload time for it. So if you have 3 attacks around, you can fire off 3 bolts.
Very nice.
If you have the blood for it.
Of course.
This also ignores your damage reduction and resistances. You take what your target takes.
so basically, you and the target will take the same damage.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, if you miss, you still take the damage.
Yeah,
You still have to roll for the damage that was dealt.
I assume it's like the damage you're taking is from creating the bolt, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much it's ripping it out of you and then you're delivering it to someone else. But those are your magic items.
And what are the crossbow bolts? They're a D6.
I believe they are a D8.
So it would be, and it takes, you said 4 of bolts, so it's like a 4d8.
No.
No, D8, just a D.
Whatever
one-
the normal crossbow.
Yeah, normal
just one
crossbow.
D8.
1d8.
Oh,
Just say crossbow
okay.
damage.
I'm sorry. Somehow I got
This
4
would
bolts.
be heavy crossbow damage.
So if it's a heavy crossbow, that is 1d10.
1d10. There you go.
1d10. Thank you. I think I've got this.
So, as you are going through your items and everything like that, I think it's probably a good point for us to stop here, as you are waiting for your 2 other members of the party to show up.
That's fair.
Though, before we leave, I need everyone to roll me hit points as you gain a level.
Ooh, la, la.
All right.
Ooh, 5th level's a good one for barbarians. We get that
Good
extra
one for a
attack.
monk too.
Yeah, we're gonna be a little more useful now.
So let's
I
just
think
go,
our movement speed increases too.
let's just go around here from in order here. So, Fox, you going with Barbarian?
I sure am.
All right, let's do that HP.
Barbarians are what, a D12?
D12, yep. The beefiest HP pool.
And that's going to be a 12 on the D12.
Nice.
I don't even know what my
Oh.
common modifier is, but it's going to be... yeah, there's going to be an extra 15 HP for me.
Very
Nice.
nice. Echo.
Let's see. That's going to be a 7 on my D8 for the monk level.
Nice. Mirror, what do you got?
I rolled a 10.
Man, everyone's getting good HP tonight.
So for my total, that gives me 14, brings me up to 70.
And Pearl.
Yeah, I'm just double checking here. I roll a D.
I believe it's a D8 for druids.
Yeah, I think. Yes, it is. It's a D8. Okay, and my con modifier. Ooh, it's 3. All right. So that's one of these ones. Oh, not so good.
What?
4 plus 3. That will be 7.
Another 7.
I need 7.
That's not bad.
Another 7. Nope. I'll
It's
take
okay.
It.
You're a druid. Eventually, you'll have infinite HP anyway.
Yeah, if an HP you don't age, you just become the force of nature. Monks and druids for those who want to play characters who just never die of old age.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why Ichirai and Cassius can still be having tea together hundreds of years later.
Extra attack, setting strike.
All right. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow with another episode of Destiny Forged, as I know everyone here is looking forward to that. Oh yeah, I remember where you guys are at now. I'm sorry.
That's a good thing.
Itching for some divine justice, man.
Yeah, definitely some divine justice is needed there. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific time for another episode of Destiny Forged. And then we will be back on Saturday at noon for another episode of Withered Wastes. And then we will start the week over again on Monday. I think we're still doing another episode of this. I need to double check with Zorro. But if all is in order, it will be another episode of Tricorn Isles. And then on Tuesday, another episode of Destiny Forged. And then we will be coming back on next Saturday, with another episode of Wayward Wonders. But for now, we are going to head on out. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And we will catch you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.